The stars were unusually quiet that night. On the edge of a distant galaxy, a planet called Xerath spun slowly in the darkness. Its skies glimmered with blue and silver light, and the tallest towers of the alien cities stretched like fingers toward the stars. Inside one of those towers, a group of alien scientists gathered around a glowing console. Their faces were tense, their eyes wide with fear. A message had arrived from deep space, and it was unlike anything they had ever seen before. The message was from Earth. It was short, simple, but chilling. Humans never let go of their enemies. The words repeated over and over in the alien translation device. The scientists read it again, hoping their machines had made a mistake. But the translation was clear, and it left a cold feeling in every heart. "What does this mean?" asked one of the younger scientists. His voice shook, almost like he was speaking to himself. "Do they plan to attack us?" An older alien, with silver streaks in his scales, shook his head. "I do not know. But humans, they are patient, and they remember. If they ever decide someone is their enemy, they never forgive. We must take this warning seriously." The room fell silent. Outside the tower, the winds of Xerath howled, but inside, fear was louder than any storm. The scientists had studied humans for decades, watching their history, their wars, and their strange ways. Humans had been considered primitive for a long time, barely able to travel beyond their own solar system. Yet, these words suggested a hidden depth of power, something dangerous, waiting quietly on the edges of the universe. One of the scientists leaned forward. "But why now? They have been silent for so long. Why send a warning now?" "No one knows," replied the elder. "But this is not an idle threat. They are not bluffing. If humans call someone their enemy, they hunt them, sometimes for decades. They never forget. They never forgive." Meanwhile, on Earth, far from Xerath, life went on as usual. Cities bustled, ships launched into orbit, and humans went about their daily routines, unaware that their quiet preparations had been observed by millions of eyes across the stars. They had been building, planning, learning, and waiting. No one outside Earth knew the truth about the secret fleets hidden deep in space, ships larger than some cities, armed with weapons no alien could imagine. Back on Xerath, the Alien Council gathered later that night. The high leaders of the planet argued in low, urgent voices. "We cannot ignore them," one said. "We cannot risk angering a species that never lets go of their enemies." "But they are small," another argued. "Their technology is old. We have seen their signals. They are nothing compared to us. We can handle them if we must." The elder scientist spoke, his voice steady but heavy with warning. "Do not underestimate them. Every time humans have been attacked or hurt, they have responded in ways no one could predict. They remember every face, every action, every betrayal. To humans, a grudge is not just a memory, it is a guide. And they have time. Time is their ally." Outside the council chamber, stars twinkled, and the silence of space seemed to grow heavier. Xerath had never faced a species like this. They had fought wars, faced disasters, and survived countless threats from other worlds. But humans were different. They were patient, relentless, and dangerous in ways that could not be measured by weapons or numbers alone. In the shadows of the city, a small alien technician worked on a scanning device, trying to read more signals from Earth. Suddenly, the machine beeped furiously. "There is activity," the technician whispered. "I am detecting ships. Not normal traffic. They are hiding, but they are there." The council was called immediately. They gathered around the display, their eyes widening as they saw the numbers. Thousands of small and large ships, moving quietly, forming patterns that suggested intelligence and planning. The humans were not idle. They were preparing. "Do you see now?" the elder asked. "They may appear small, but they are organized. They are careful. And if they choose us as their enemy, we will see what patience and memory can do. We cannot strike first without understanding the consequences. Humans are terrifying when pushed." The warning echoed through the chambers and even into the streets of Xerath. Citizens whispered in fear. "Humans never let go of their enemies," they said. Parents told their children to be careful. Scientists triple-checked every calculation, and the leaders debated every possible move. And somewhere, far across the stars, humans did nothing. At least, nothing that any alien could see. But every move they made, every plan they kept, was part of a silent preparation. The universe did not yet know the true strength of humanity. The words of the aliens' message were accurate. Humans never let go of their enemies. As the night stretched on, the Council of Zereth made one final decision. "We will watch," they said. "We will wait. But we must be ready, for if humans decide we are their enemy, nothing we have built will save us." And in the distance, through the dark vacuum of space, Earth rotated quietly, unaware of the fear its very existence had already planted in a world far, far away. Far beyond the orbit of Mars, hidden behind asteroid fields and thick clouds of cosmic dust, Earth's secret fleet waited. It was a fleet that no alien had ever seen, not even in their most detailed scans. Humans had built it quietly, over decades, in places far from prying eyes. The ships were massive, some larger than cities, armed with weapons that could destroy planets, yet designed with precision to move silently and strike without warning. In a control room deep underground, Admiral Kira Langley stood before a holographic display. Her sharp eyes scanned every ship, every squadron, every formation. Around her, officers moved quickly, adjusting coordinates, checking engines, and running simulations. The fleet was ready, but the time had not yet come to reveal it. Patience was always part of the human plan. "Admiral, all systems are operational," said Lieutenant Arjun Patel. "Stealth shields are active, and the cloaking fields are holding perfectly. No alien sensors can detect us from light years away." Kira nodded. "Good. Let's keep it that way. We are not here to provoke anyone, yet. But if they ever consider us an enemy, they will learn the hard way." Outside the control room, in the hangars, humans walked among the ships. Engineers checked weapons, pilots ran simulations, and crews performed drills. The ships were sleek, silent, and deadly. Each one was a masterpiece of technology, designed to move quickly, attack with precision, and disappear before the enemy could respond. No alien had guessed this. The Zereth scientists and their council believed humans were small, slow, and primitive. They thought Earth could be easily ignored or attacked. But humans were patient. They had been preparing for years, learning from every mistake, building for a future that only they could see. On the bridge of one of the largest ships, Kira addressed the fleet commanders. "We do not strike first. We do not attack without reason. But know this, if anyone ever considers us weak, or tries to harm our people, they will face the full strength of humanity. We do not forget. We do not forgive. Our enemies will see what patience and planning can do." The commanders nodded, their faces serious. Every human on the fleet understood the stakes. This was not just about weapons or ships, it was about survival, pride, and history. Humans carried grudges not just from the past decades, but from centuries. Every attack on their planet, every betrayal, every loss was remembered. And now, with the fleet ready, humanity could act if needed. Far away, Zeretha's scanning devices continued to struggle. They picked up tiny disturbances in space, tiny energy pulses that suggested something was moving, but they could not see the fleet clearly. Their sensors could not pierce the shields or the stealth technology. The aliens were confident, yet unease began to creep into their thoughts. Back on Earth, Kira watched a real-time simulation of alien movements in nearby galaxies. "They are scanning," she said softly. "They are curious, but they do not understand what they are looking at. They will underestimate us. And that is our advantage." In a quiet corner of the command center, young pilot Jenna Morales smiled. "It's incredible. I never imagined humans could build this. These ships, it's like a dream but real." Kira looked at her and nodded. "Dreams become reality when you work in silence. Never forget that. Our enemies will not see us coming until it is too late." Meanwhile, in distant space, alien scouts continued to observe. They detected some movement near Earth but assumed it was minor traffic, unimportant ships, nothing to fear. They had no idea that the humans they considered small and weak were hiding a fleet that could rival an entire galaxy's navy. On Zereth, debate continued among the council. "I still believe they are harmless," one alien argued. "They may have some ships, but nothing that could challenge us." The elder scientist shook his head slowly. "Do not be fooled. Humans have patience. They wait. They plan. And when the time comes, their strike is devastating. They have learned from every battle, every enemy, every mistake. To them, time is not a weakness, it is a weapon. Back on the fleet, preparations continued. Pilots ran through drills, engineers double-checked the weapons, and navigators studied the stars. Every move, every calculation, every detail was designed to ensure that humanity would never be caught unprepared. As night fell on Earth, the fleet remained hidden, a ghost in the void. The stars above reflected on the sleek hulls of the ships, making them seem almost alive. And somewhere, far away, the aliens continued their discussions, unaware of the full scale of human power, unaware of the patience, the memory, and the planning that had gone into building this hidden armada. Humans waited, quietly, patiently, and if the universe ever dared to threaten them, it would witness what it truly meant when humanity declared someone its enemy. The council chamber of Zareth was larger than any building on the planet. High ceilings curved like the inside of a seashell, and the walls were decorated with ancient symbols that glowed faintly in the dim light. The alien leaders gathered in a circle, their voices low but urgent. The warning from Earth had reached them, and unease filled every corner of the room. Humans, one council member hissed, they are patient. They wait. They remember every action against them. Their message, it is not a threat to be ignored. Another shook his head. But they are small, primitive. Their technology is decades behind ours. We have faced far greater enemies. Why should we fear them? The elder scientist, who had spent years monitoring Earth, stood in the center of the chamber. His silver-streaked scales reflected the soft glow of the room. Do not underestimate them, he said firmly. We have studied their history. Humans never forgive. They remember every betrayal, every attack, every loss. To them, grudges are lessons, and patience is a weapon. If we provoke them, we cannot know the price we will pay. A younger council member leaned forward, his eyes bright with curiosity. But what if they are bluffing? What if this is just a warning to scare us, not a real threat? The elder scientist's eyes narrowed. Bluff or not, we cannot take that chance. Their ships are hidden, their power unknown. They have had centuries to prepare. And our data, shows they are clever beyond expectation. If humans call us their enemy, they will act. And we will regret underestimating them. Outside the chamber, the winds of Zareth howled against the city towers. Inside, the council debated furiously, arguing over tactics, strategy, and the best way to respond. Some believed in preemptive action, striking Earth before humans could show their full strength. Others counseled patience, to watch and gather information, but the fear in their voices betrayed uncertainty. One alien spoke with a trembling tone. We have faced enemies before. We have survived wars, plagues, disasters. But humans, they are different. They are small, yet they endure. Their memory is long, and their patience is longer. If they declare us their enemy, we may not survive. Another council member, younger and confident, waved his hand dismissively. Fear is clouding your judgment. How can a species so primitive pose a real danger? They are not like us. They have no experience with interstellar politics, no fleets to rival ours. They are weak. The elder scientist shook his head slowly. Do you see only what is in front of your eyes? Do not forget what is behind their eyes, the mind, the strategy, the willpower. Humans have survived every disaster on their planet, from plagues to wars to natural catastrophes. They have learned, adapted, and planned. And now they are ready. The council fell silent for a moment, the weight of his words sinking in. Even the most confident members could not ignore the logic. Humans might be small, but their endurance, memory, and patience made them unpredictable, dangerous. Meanwhile, alien scouts in orbit around Earth reported minor anomalies. They detected small energy fluctuations, faint signals, movements in patterns that seemed too calculated to be random. Yet they could not see the full fleet hidden behind asteroids and cosmic dust. The council received the reports, and unease deepened. We must be careful, said the elder scientist. Every move we make will be watched, analyzed, and remembered. Humans are not like other species. If we make a mistake, if we provoke them, they will strike. And when they strike, it is not for revenge alone, It is to ensure we never harm them again. A debate began about whether to send a delegation to Earth or to monitor silently. Some argued that diplomacy could prevent conflict. Others insisted that showing weakness could be dangerous, that humans might interpret hesitation as cowardice. Fear, strategy, and uncertainty twisted together, creating tension that no one could ignore. Finally, the elder spoke again, his voice calm but firm. We cannot afford arrogance. We cannot ignore the warning. Humans do not bluff when they speak of enemies. They plan, they wait, they strike. And they never forget. We must watch, but we must also prepare. Underestimating them is our greatest risk. As the council members left the chamber, the weight of the decision hung over them. They had faced countless threats before, but this was different. Humans were patient. Humans were clever. And humans remembered. Far away, beyond the council chambers and the cities of Zareth, Earth continued its quiet preparation. The secret fleet remained hidden, ready to move at a moment's notice. Humans did not need to boast or threaten. Their silence was as powerful as any weapon. They had learned from history, studied their enemies, and prepared in ways no one could imagine. The elder scientist watched the stars from the chamber window. He knew that if humans ever called Zareth their enemy, the galaxy would witness a force it had never expected. Their patience, their memory, their strategy, these were the real weapons. Not lasers, not shields, not fleets alone, but the relentless, calculating nature of humanity. And as the stars twinkled in the distant sky, he whispered to himself, humans never let go of their enemies. And now we will see why. Far beyond Earth's orbit, a small alien reconnaissance team moved silently through the blackness of space. Their ships glimmered faintly, sleek and silver, designed to gather information without being detected. The aliens had been observing Earth for weeks, scanning for signs of hidden technology, movement, or preparation. They believed humans were weak, unaware of the secret fleet lying in the shadows. Inside one of the alien ships, Commander Thalen leaned over the control panel, his eyes fixed on the displays. Sensors show nothing unusual, he said. No major fleet, no weapons of mass destruction. They are primitive. We could study them, strike if necessary, and leave without much risk. His subordinate, a young scout named Veeler, frowned. I am detecting minor energy fluctuations, Commander. Small, but irregular. They seem calculated. Thalen waved dismissively. Minor fluctuations. Probably natural phenomena. Focus on the data that matters. Meanwhile, far below in Earth's orbit, the hidden human fleet stirred. On the bridge of the largest ship, Admiral Kira Langley studied the alien movements through advanced stealth sensors. The humans had detected the aliens long before the aliens thought they were noticed. Commander Patel, Kira said, her voice calm but sharp, we have company. Small alien fleet approaching from the outer sectors. Sensors show their trajectory and speed. They are trying to remain undetected, but they are within our range. Patel's eyes widened. They are not supposed to know we are here. Shall we engage? Kira shook her head. Not yet. Observe. Let them reveal themselves. We learn more by watching than by attacking. Prepare defense protocols, but do not fire unless I give the order. The alien fleet continued forward, unaware that every movement was being tracked. The humans' cloaking technology kept the larger ships invisible. Only minor probes could be seen, and even those were being monitored carefully. Veeler on the alien ship tapped the sensor panel repeatedly. Commander, something is wrong. Our readings are inconsistent. Energy signatures appear and disappear, as if there is a hidden force controlling the area. Thalen frowned. Impossible. There is no fleet here. Earth is small, weak, and unprepared. Focus. We cannot let paranoia control us. Back on Earth, the human fleet continued to gather data silently. Pilots ran simulation drills, engineers adjusted shielding systems, and navigators calculated precise trajectories. Every move of the alien fleet was being recorded, every ship's capability assessed. The humans did not intend to strike first, but they were ready for anything. In the control room of one human ship, Lieutenant Morales pointed at a holographic display. Admiral, their ships are fast, but their formations are predictable. They are trying to remain hidden, but their patterns are consistent. If we needed to, we could trap them within minutes. Kira nodded slowly. Let's keep observing. Humans do not strike without reason. But remember, if they ever consider us their enemy, we strike with precision, patience, and force. They will learn our strength quickly. Veeler, growing more anxious, glanced at Commander Thalen. Commander, there is something unusual in their orbit. It feels alive. Not just machinery. They are waiting, but we do not know for what. Thalen frowned again, unease creeping into his mind. Stay focused. Record the data. Report everything. Humans are small and insignificant. This hesitation, it is unnecessary. Meanwhile, Earth's fleet shifted subtly, adjusting positions behind asteroids and cosmic debris. The alien scouts were unaware that they were being funneled into a carefully planned observation zone. Every maneuver the humans made was calculated to reveal weaknesses in the alien formations while keeping the true strength of the fleet hidden. The alien ships entered the zone. Sensors began picking up minor anomalies, small energy bursts that did not match any known natural phenomena. Veeler's eyes widened. Commander, I think they see us. They know we are here. Thalen's face paled. Impossible. We are stealthy. They cannot detect us. But the data told a different story. Every ship, every probe, every movement was being tracked in real time. The humans' preparation, their patience, and their technology were far beyond what the aliens had expected. The scouts were no longer observers. They were being observed, trapped in a silent net of calculation and strategy. Back on Earth, Kira watched the aliens carefully. They believe they are in control. Let them think that. We do not strike first, but we learn. And when the time comes, they will understand what it means to underestimate humanity. The alien fleet continued forward, unaware that they were being studied and contained. They were confident, arrogant even, but with every passing minute, the gap between what they believed and the truth widened. Humans were not primitive. Humans were not weak. Humans were patient, calculating, and ready. And somewhere, deep in the control room of the flagship, Kira whispered, almost to herself, "They will learn. They will learn why humans never let go of their enemies." The stars around them seemed calm, but the tension in space was electric. This was only the beginning. The first encounter had begun, but the real battle, the real test of patience, strategy, and memory, was yet to come. The stars were quiet, but beneath that calm, Earth's fleet moved like a shadow in the void. Admiral Kira Langley had watched the alien scouts for days, learning their patterns, studying their weaknesses, and preparing a plan that would strike with precision. The humans did not rush. Patience was their greatest weapon, and timing would be everything. "Commander Patel," Kira said, her eyes fixed on the holographic display, "all units in position. We do not fire until I give the signal. Remember, they must believe they are in control. Any mistake could give them the advantage." Patel nodded, his fingers moving quickly across the console. "Stealth shields are active. All attack vectors are ready. They have no idea we are prepared." The alien scouts moved closer to Earth, confident and arrogant. Commander Thalen believed the humans were primitive, weak, and unorganized. He did not notice the subtle shifts in the shadows, the almost invisible movements of massive ships hidden behind asteroids and cosmic debris. Inside one of the human command ships, Lieutenant Morales double-checked the targeting systems. "Admiral, if we strike now, their formation is vulnerable. They will not expect a counterattack. It will be precise, and it will show our full strength." Kira nodded slowly. "Yes. Wait for my signal. Patience. Observation is key. We strike only when they are in our trap." The alien scouts, unaware of the hidden fleet, continued their slow approach. Veeler tapped the sensor panel repeatedly. "Commander, I detect something. Small signatures, moving in patterns I cannot predict. They seem hidden." Thalen frowned. "Impossible. They are too far. Focus on the main fleet. Do not be distracted by minor anomalies." Back on Earth, the fleet silently adjusted its positions. Ships glided like shadows behind asteroids, forming a pattern designed to encircle the alien scouts without detection. Every ship, every pilot, Every maneuver had been rehearsed countless times. Humans did not rush. They calculated. They prepared. They waited for the perfect moment. Kira watched the displays carefully. "Now," she whispered, "engage countermeasures. Draw their attention to the decoy channels." On the alien ships, sensors began to flicker. Strange energy readings appeared in areas where nothing should exist. The scouts grew nervous. "Commander," Vila said, "they are manipulating space around us. Our readings are confused. Something is hiding us from them, but we cannot see it clearly." Thalen's face paled. "Impossible. Humans cannot. They are weak. They cannot have this technology." Suddenly, the human fleet revealed itself. Massive ships emerged from behind asteroids, their weapons glowing, engines ready, and formations precise. The alien scouts froze, unprepared for what they saw. The hidden fleet was not small, not primitive, not weak. It was a carefully constructed armada, silent until the exact moment of attack. Kira's voice echoed across the command channels. "This is not a warning. This is a lesson. We do not strike without reason. But we will defend ourselves with every ounce of strategy, precision, and strength we have." Humans never let go of their enemies. The alien scouts scrambled, their formations faltering. Lasers and energy shields activated, but it was too late. The humans had anticipated every move, predicting weaknesses and traps. Every strike from the fleet was controlled, precise, and devastating. Wheeler could hardly believe his sensors. "Commander, their ships, they are everywhere. And they are faster, smarter than our scans predicted. They knew where we would be before we even moved." Thalen swallowed hard. "We underestimated them. We made a mistake. Prepare to retreat." But the humans had anticipated that too. The encirclement tightened, cutting off escape routes, forcing the alien scouts into zones where human firepower could dominate. The shock on the alien ships was visible even through the sensors. Confidence had turned into fear. On the human command ship, Kira watched calmly. "Observe and learn," she said to her officers. "They thought they were in control. They thought we were weak. But this is why patience, preparation, and strategy matter. We strike only when necessary, but we strike decisively. This is what it means to face humanity." The alien fleet attempted to retreat, but the human ships moved like a web closing in. Energy pulses and defensive strikes forced the scouts to scatter, some damaged, some barely escaping. They had not encountered a species like this before. Every move, every tactic was anticipated, predicted, and countered. Commander Thalen realized the truth. Humans were not primitive. They were not weak. They were patient, calculating, and dangerous beyond imagination. Their memory of enemies, their preparation, their ability to wait and strike at the exact right moment. This was the true power of humanity. As the alien scouts retreated back into space, battered and shocked, Kira allowed herself a small smile. "Let them go for now. They will tell their leaders what they faced. And they will remember. And when the time comes, if they ever return, they will think twice before challenging us." The stars around Earth seemed calm once more, but the quiet was deceptive. Humans had shown their first strike, not out of aggression, but as a lesson. The universe would begin to understand what it meant when humanity decided someone was their enemy. And somewhere far away, in the council chambers of Zareth, the elder scientist whispered again, "They were right. Humans never let go of their enemies. And now we have seen why." The alien scouts had barely escaped, but a few ships had not been so lucky. Humans had captured them quietly, using precise maneuvers that left the aliens stunned and unable to resist. On board the flagship, the captured aliens were held in containment cells, their movements restricted by advanced human technology. They had never felt anything like it, restraints that allowed no escape, no chance of trickery, no room for underestimation. Admiral Kira Langley walked calmly through the corridor, her boots echoing on the metal floor. Behind her, Lieutenant Morales and a team of security officers followed closely. The captured aliens watched every step, their eyes wide with disbelief and fear. "You will speak," Kira said softly, stopping in front of the largest containment cell. "We do not harm unless necessary. But we know everything about you, your plans, your strengths, and your weaknesses. Humans never forget. And humans never forgive when they are wronged. The elder alien inside the cell hissed. You are small. How can you hold us? How can you know everything? Kira tilted her head, her expression calm but cold. Small? Perhaps. But clever, patient, and determined. We have watched, studied, and waited. We remember history. Every betrayal, every attack, every insult. And we act when the time is right. Another alien tried to sneer. This is a trap. We will be free. You cannot hold us forever. Kira smiled faintly. You misunderstand. Freedom is irrelevant. What matters is that you understand who we are. You see, humans carry grudges not as anger, but as strategy. Every enemy, every challenge, every act of aggression becomes part of our plan. We never forget. And if necessary, we strike to ensure we are never threatened in the same way again. The aliens looked at each other, confusion and fear mixing in their expressions. They had encountered strong opponents before, but none like this. These humans did not rely only on weapons or numbers. They relied on memory, patience, and the ability to wait for the perfect moment to act. Explain, one alien demanded. Why do you remember so much? Why do you hold grudges for centuries? Kira leaned forward slightly. Because to forget is to make the same mistake twice. Every enemy teaches a lesson. Every betrayal shapes our strategy. And every attack on us, or on our people, is never forgiven lightly. Patience is a weapon. Memory is a weapon. Strategy is a weapon. And combined, they are stronger than anything you can see with your sensors. The elder alien in the cell lowered his head. We did not know. We underestimated you. We thought humans were primitive, weak, disorganized. But this is beyond anything we imagined. Kira nodded. And now you understand. You see why the message we sent long ago was true. Humans never let go of their enemies. You thought it was a threat, but it was a warning. And warnings are not always heeded. You have learned the lesson firsthand. Another alien, younger and more defiant, asked, What will you do with us? Kira's eyes were steady. You will be returned to your people. But you will tell them what you saw. You will tell them that humans are patient, precise, and relentless. You will tell them that we do not strike without reason, but if we consider someone our enemy, we strike with full force. And you will remember this lesson for the rest of your lives. The aliens remained silent, the weight of understanding heavy in the air. They had thought the humans were primitive and weak. They had thought that patience and memory were insignificant. But now, in the cold metal corridors of the human flagship, they had seen the truth. Humans never let go of their enemies, and they never forgave lightly. Kira turned and walked away, her boots echoing once more. Prepare for release, she said to the security officers. And make sure they have a story to carry back. One that ensures they never underestimate humanity again. As the aliens were returned to their ships, the elder scientist aboard one of the damaged alien scouts whispered to his companions. They are not like any species we have faced. Their memory, their patience, it is endless. They do not forget, and they do not forgive. This is why the humans are dangerous. This is why we must fear them. Back on Earth, the fleet returned to silent vigilance, hidden once more behind cosmic shadows. No celebration was needed. The humans had not struck in anger. They had acted in strategy. They had shown the universe what it meant to face a species that never let go of its enemies. Somewhere in the stars, the captured aliens transmitted their reports. Every detail, every observation, every lesson would be carried back to their home world. The galaxy was beginning to understand the truth about humanity. Patience, memory, and precision were their weapons. And if ever provoked, humans would strike with the full weight of centuries of preparation and determination. The stars above Earth shone quietly, but beneath that quiet, the humans remained alert, ready, and patient. And somewhere, far away, Zaratha's council would begin to reconsider everything they thought they knew about this small, determined species that refused to forget. The galaxy had never seen patience like this before. Humans returned the captured aliens, not in anger, but with a lesson. Across the stars, Whispers of what had happened began to spread. The small, seemingly weak species called humans had revealed a strength far beyond what anyone could imagine. They were clever, calculating, and relentless. They never let go of their enemies. On Earth, Admiral Kira Langley stood on the bridge of the flagship, looking out at the dark expanse of space. The hidden fleet remained in position, silent and invisible, but ready for anything. She felt the weight of responsibility, knowing that humanity had entered a new phase. The universe now understood that underestimating humans could be catastrophic. "Commander Patel," she said, "they will tell their leaders. Zareth will know. Other civilizations will hear the story. Our work is not just about defense, it is about warning, strategy, and survival. Humans never let go, and now the galaxy knows why." Patel nodded. "Admiral, the aliens were shocked. They never expected our fleet, our preparation, or our patience. They will think twice before challenging us again." Kira turned away from the view. "Good. But this is only the beginning. We must remain vigilant. The galaxy is vast, and there are others who may see humans as weak. We show our strength not to start wars, but to prevent them. We strike only when necessary, but when we do, our enemies learn a lesson they will never forget." Far away, on Zareth, the council gathered once more. The elder scientist spoke quietly, but his words carried heavy weight. "Humans are unlike any species we have faced. They are patient, precise, and relentless. Their memory of enemies is unmatched. We underestimated them, and we paid the price. We must reconsider our place in the galaxy and how we approach this species in the future." Other council members whispered in agreement. Fear and respect mingled in their voices. They had seen the humans' power indirectly through the scouts' reports. The captured aliens' testimony had made it clear. Humans never forgot, and they never forgave lightly. Any attempt to challenge Earth would now be met with extreme caution. Meanwhile, across the stars, other alien civilizations began to take notice. Traders, explorers, and spies transmitted the stories, the warnings, and the lessons learned from the humans. The galaxy began to understand that this small planet, hidden in a quiet corner of space, was home to a species unlike any other. Back on Earth, the fleet returned to its silent vigilance. Ships moved behind asteroids and shadows, cloaked and hidden, but ready for anything. Humanity had shown its power without violence, had taught a lesson without unnecessary destruction. Their strategy was clear: preparation, patience, and decisive action when required. In a private briefing, Kira addressed her officers. "We have made our first statement to the galaxy. Not through war, but through demonstration. Our enemies have learned our methods. We are not reckless, but we are not weak. We must continue to prepare, to study, and to protect our people. This is the way humans have always survived, and this is why we never let go of those who threaten us." Lieutenant Morales spoke softly, almost in awe. "Admiral, they will never forget. Zareth, the other scouts. The galaxy will know not to underestimate us." Kira nodded. "Exactly. And one day, if they ever challenge us again, they will understand fully. We do not forget. We do not forgive lightly. We strike with precision, patience, and purpose. That is our advantage, and it will remain so." Outside, the stars shone like diamonds against the black canvas of space. Earth was a quiet planet, seemingly peaceful, yet beneath that calm, humans held unmatched power. Across the galaxy, the lesson was clear. Humans were not primitive. They were not weak. They were patient, relentless, and intelligent. Any who considered them enemies would learn the truth, sooner or later. The captured aliens, returned to their homeworld, recounted everything. They told of the hidden fleet, the precise strategy, and the human patience that had outsmarted them. They told of a species that did not strike without reason, but once it did, it struck fully, decisively, and with memory spanning centuries. Across the galaxy, fear and respect grew. Back on Earth, Admiral Kira stood once more on the bridge, her eyes reflecting the stars. She whispered quietly, almost to herself, "The galaxy has learned our lesson. But we remain vigilant. Our enemies will test us, and we will be ready. Humanity never lets go. And now, the universe knows why." Somewhere, Far beyond the reach of Earth scanners, other civilizations paused, reconsidering the stories they had heard. Humans were no longer just a small species on a quiet planet. They were a force to be respected, a presence that demanded caution, and a species whose patience and memory made them one of the most dangerous in the galaxy. And the stars remained silent witnesses to a species that would never be underestimated again. The galaxy had changed, and humanity's place within it was secure. Not through fear, but through strategy, patience, and the unyielding determination that had carried them through every challenge. The future was uncertain, the galaxy vast, but one truth was clear. Humans never let go of their enemies, and that fact alone had reshaped the cosmic order.